Today, at the Pi Kappa Delta National Tournament, you see many students walking around with earbuds in their ears. Now this is because the students are listening to their iPods, their music. Now back then in the 90s, they would listen to their CDs on CD players. But when they throw out their CDs, this would be very wasteful in the compact disc. This is just like what the speech and debate needs to do with their visual aids, because many of these competitors are also carrying around very large bags carrying their visual aids and also carrying around easels. And this is also hurting our environment. So today, we will look at the problems with using visual aids, the causes of these visual aids, and some solutions to move forward digitally to electronic visual aids, or to E-VAs. Moving into my first point, we can see the problems with using these visual aids and how we can move forward digitally into using electronic visual aids. First, we only use these visual aids once a year. Now, we spend at least $30 per visual aid, and many students have 1 to 3 visual aids for their speeches, such as in persuasion, rhetorical criticism, informative, or even an after-dinner speech. Many students use these visual aids to highlight their points. Yet what we don't realize is that after the speech season is over, we throw them out, and it's wasteful. And we spend so much money on these visual aids that are only used for such a limited and short amount of time. Business Week on March 17th stated that these foam core boards are only $30. Now think. At least each student has 1 to 3 visual aids. There are at least 20 competitors in every tournament in either persuasion, rhetorical criticism, or informative. This is at least $2,700 that these competitors have spent to use these visual aids, which are only so limited in their time. My team alone has spent nearly $1,300 on visual aids and brochures, because not only do we have to buy these foam core boards, but we also need to print out these visual aids, these pictures, which we need to spend near $100 just to print them. We can also see that we are using this waste of raw material that is being thrown into landfills or even to the garbage patch, which spans from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean, which is causing hurt to our environment. What we need to do is to move forward electronically to E-VAs. Into my next point, what are the causes of this implication? The National Forensic Association and the American Forensic Association and many other associations hold an expectation that our competitors need to use these visual aids, these boards, instead of using electronic visual aids, because before we could not access electronic visual aids so easily. So they would use these boards, and it became acceptable to use them to help illustrate and highlight their points, to show the problems or the new innovations that we're using to help cause these problems. And just like in my speech, I'm not using a visual aid because we need to be more friendly to electronic visual aids. We also have now made it more accessible to use electronic visual aids with more technological advances and more user-friendly for technology. So instead of the Forensic Association deeming this wrong to use electronics, we need to make it more acceptable at the tournament level. Which brings me into my final point, some solutions into how we can move forward from visual aids into electronic visual aids, or E-VAs. The solutions are, invitational tournaments need to state that they are E-VA friendly, and that if students use E-VAs, that they will drop their slot to at least $1 instead of spending at least $6 or $10 per slot. Second, we need to encourage the NFA, AFA, IEL, and NPDA and PKD to move forward into using E-VAs and to have the tournaments be E-VA accessible friendly. We also need to take a personal initiative to tell our coaches to urge them to use electronic visual aids and to have our tournaments alone be EVA friendly. Next year, my school's tournament will be EVA friendly and accessible because technology is now becoming more advanced and we need to learn and to move forward instead of staying in this point. So today, we've looked at the problems with using visual aids, the causes of this, and finally, some solutions to move us forward into a much greener and digitally friendly visual aid to help highlight our points and to help show what we're trying to prove or to disprove